You are Locked On Warriors Postcast, part of Locked On Sports San Francisco on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Warriors Postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR. Maybe you know me from this show as well. We've been doing it for quite a while now. And tonight, it was all about GP2 as he scored a career-high 26 points against his former team. A GP2 revenge game led the Warriors in scoring. Buddy Hield and Moses Moody also pitched in 20 points to give the Warriors fans out there at Chase Center a lot to cheer for. And man, Chase Center was rocking tonight. The playoff push momentum is tangible right now. And really, despite the Trailblazers' subpar record, they posed a formidable challenge tonight and pushed the Golden State Warriors all the way to the finish. This Portland Trailblazers team has been very, very, very good lately under the tutelage of Chauncey Billups, and you shouldn't sleep on them despite looking at their, 10-game under 500 record. This was a tough team, man, and the Warriors needed everything to pull it out tonight. We'll break it all down, but first, I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Sports San Francisco YouTube channel. Please, if you aren't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button right now. Thanks also for listening on the Locked On Warriors podcast feed. Make sure to check out the Locked On Warriors daily show for more in-depth coverage. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. And tonight, man, the Warriors from the jump, they were scoring, man. Like in the first half, this team was hitting absolutely everything from the field. They were hitting everything from three. The Blazers did jump out to a quick 7-point lead early in that first quarter, but the Warriors took all that momentum right back. Denny Avdija was amazing for the Blazers tonight. The Israeli forward had 34 points and gave the Warriors everything they could handle inside. He also had 16 rebounds. Dude was all over the place tonight, hit some alley-oops as well. The Blazers actually out-rebounded the Warriors, got more second chance points, but the Warriors, fast breaks all night long. They beat them there. They beat them on the points off turnovers, which, by the way, has been a great thing for the Dubs as of late. But, that first half was really that second quarter, honestly, was our turning point for today.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
And late in that second quarter, in the second half of that second quarter, the Warriors were down to a 10-point lead. The Blazers were pushing to bring that lead within single digits again, but the Warriors pushed that lead up to 19 points before the end of the quarter. Going into halftime with a 19-point lead was a huge deal tonight for the Dubs. And there were storylines all over this game. Steph Curry chasing 4,000 three-pointers. And GP2 playing a former team. We're all waiting with bated breath to see what happens with Brandon Podziemski and Jonathan Kuminga and when they could return to this lineup for the Dubs. But tonight, like I said at the top of the show, man, GP2, this guy was amazing in the first half especially. And honestly, he's a guy who comes out at halftime a lot and really doesn't play a lot of second half minutes. But tonight, GP2 in the first half, 4 of 5 from deep, 16 points at halftime. Gave a fun mid-game interview as the Warriors were going back to the locker room. Fitz led the interview off by saying, GP2, you're on fire, man. Steph wants to hit the 6 3-pointers tonight to get to the 4,000 mark, but you might hit 6 3-pointers by the end of the night. GP2 immediately said, hey, man, don't jinx me. Don't put that on me. And GP2 tonight, he fended off the curse. He was able to finish with a career high in points, but he didn't make a single 3-pointer in the second half. So maybe Fitz, the announcer jinx a little bit there for GP2. But as a team, the Warriors in the first half just so good. 56% from the field, 57% from three. And in that first quarter alone, they had an 11-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. In the second half, the Warriors' turnovers did definitely spike up a little bit. They finished this game with 17 total turnovers, so that was a bit of a concern. But the Warriors, oh my God, defensively, they forced 16 steals tonight against the Trailblazers. 16 steals, man. That was, just amazing to watch. Draymond had 4. Jimmy Butler had 3. Quentin Post had 1. Steph had 2. Moses Moody had 1. Kevon Looney had 2. Buddy Hield had 2. And GP2 had 1 as well. The Warriors also forced 5 blocks. The Blazers turned the ball over 19 times in this one. That was a huge difference for the Warriors tonight. We know that they're first in the NBA in points off turnovers in their last 12 or 13 games. But tonight they get 25 points off of those turnovers. So again, the Warriors not just forcing these defensive turnovers, but capitalizing on them and forcing other teams into bad situations, getting out and running. And man, dude, they keep throwing these touchdown passes, as Bob likes to say, touchdown every time they throw a full court pass. And Draymond Green always is looking for Jimmy Butler down there. And before Jimmy Butler, I've said on this show multiple times, the Warriors needed to stop doing that because it was always resulting in turnovers. Plus, there was no one really down there that would give you confidence that, like, once they even got the ball, like in that fast break situation, that they'd know what to do with it. We've seen Buddy Hield be really bad in those situations. We've seen Moses Moody kind of get stuffed. We've seen Pods kind of make some bad decisions in those moments in the early part of this season. But as of late, man, whenever Jimmy Butler's down there, just go throw it up and someone's down there. You know, it's kind of like an NFL wide receiver. Like if you got Justin Jefferson on your team, just chuck it up. JJ's down there somewhere. He's going to get the ball anyways. He's going to just moss whoever's on him. And Jimmy Butler was just mossing defenders tonight out there. I mean, the full court passes, man, they're back with Jimmy Butler on this team. It really adds a new dimension, or rather brings back an old dimension of the Warriors' fast break ability. And man, it is so fun to watch. And by the way, again, the Warriors shoot more than 20 free throws tonight. They shot 21 free throws and they made 19 of them. That's a 90.5% as a team. That's absolutely wild compared to where this team was earlier this year. The Warriors, they gave you all the first half stats for their shooting. Well, guess what? Second half, they did come back down to earth a little bit, but still finished the game very, very, very well with a 52.9% shooting percent from the field and a 51.2% mark from three-point range. And this is a team that has been honestly really bad from three-point range in the first couple, and just from the field in general, since getting Jimmy Butler. I mean, they've done their work on the defensive side of the ball, doing the dirty work, lead into wins with fast breaks and points off turnovers. But tonight, the Warriors were hitting shots in their half-court set, and man, that is a huge plus for this team. In that second quarter, the Warriors really pushed the Blazers 33 points to 22 points. So they won demonstratively in that quarter. But man, the Blazers punched back. They had a third quarter. They stole the Curry flurry away, man. Curry, by the way, had a decent night. We'll get to him in a little bit. But the Blazers, 43 points in that third quarter out of the half. And I mean, they were just hitting shots. It wasn't like the Warriors were playing bad defense. They were just making shots over contested jumpers, and they were getting inside and hitting tough layups in the lane. It was a good showing by this Portland Trailblazers team. They are young, they are spunky, they are spry. They're playing on the back end of a back-to-back, and they gave the Warriors all they could handle tonight, man. The Blazers under Chauncey Billups look really good, man. Like, this is a young team to watch out for. They are on the upswing, and this team shouldn't be taken lightly down the stretch. I mean, maybe you want to laugh at that comment because the Blazers are 10 games under 500, but you look at the way that they started the season and the way that they've kind of turned it on since just before the All-Star break. This team is been playing pretty good basketball lately. So the Warriors had all they could handle tonight, and thankfully they had the off day after, I mean, just a bloodbath against the Detroit Pistons on Saturday, which, by the way, I do apologize. We did not have a post-game show on Saturday after the Warriors took down the Pistons in dramatic fashion. The Draymond Green 3 at the end, man, what a game that was. I really intended to do that show live from on the road. I was up in Tahoe doing, getting my laps in on the slopes, as you guys know I like to do. If you're watching if you're watching the video version of the show on YouTube, you can see how absolutely lobster red my face is. It's the same color as my 49ers flag behind me. It's not a good look, man, but sometimes, the sunscreen just wears off. You don't bring it with you. You know how it goes. You don't want to take the time to get back to the car because then you're going to be missing out on the laps, man. That's not a great situation to be in. So, moral of that story, bring the sunscreen up with you to the mountain next time you go if you're a skier or a snowboarder, hopefully a snowboarder like I am. We all know snowboarding's way better, but I digress. Back to this Warriors game tonight. The Warriors, man, everybody was pitching in. This team feels like strength in numbers at this point in time, and guess what? That's what everybody is talking about.
This is what you'll be talking about.
And what you'll be talking about tonight is, man, this team looks a lot like the strength in numbers teams that we've seen the Warriors do some damage with in the past. You think back You look at my hat on the video version of this show, you see the 2021-2022 NBA champions Warriors hat. Of course, I wear this hat like every single show because it's like my favorite Warriors hat. Why wouldn't I wear it? It brings back great memories. And you know what else I think about when I think about that team? I think about guys like Otto Porter Jr. I think about Andre Bielitsa or Three Elitsa. If you're a Dieter Kurtenbach fan like I am, of course, you're going with the Three Elitsa nickname. But you think about those types of role players that the Warriors had on that team and how they just fit into what they wanted to do. And this Warriors team has that same vibe now that you add Jimmy Butler to the mix. It really allows all these other guys to just slide into what they do well. Guy Santos, the Energizer Bunny. Buddy Hield, the barometer. When he's on, he's on. When he's not, he's really not. But tonight was a good night for Buddy. 20 points, 6 of 9 from three-point range, 7 of 10 from the field. And you know who else was 7 of 10 from the field? Moses Blanken Moody, who continues to shine in the starting lineup. And man, you love to see that. I mean, as a Warriors fan, there's been such a contingency of these Moses Moody disciples when we've all been advocating for this guy to get more minutes for what feels like years at this point. And Moses Moody has finally earned the trust of Steve Kerr. I don't know what he had to do to get Buddy Hield to get rid of the blackmail that he had against him, because obviously Buddy Hield had some blackmail against Moses Moody earlier in the season when he was getting the start over Moses, which he absolutely should have never been starting over Moses Moody, in my opinion. I've said that numerous times. Moses Moody always makes the right decision with the basketball. Moses Moody always plays tough defense. He can play inside. He can play outside. He had an amazing reverse layup tonight where he didn't even hit the backboard with the reverse layup. He just threw that thing up in the air. He got shoved while he was throwing it up. They didn't call it a foul, but it should have been a foul. And somehow, some way, that ball fell right into the bucket. I have no idea how Moses Moody made that circus shot. It was absolutely amazing. Credit Moses Moody, finished 7 of 10 tonight, as we said, with 20 big ones from the field. Buddy Hield also 20 points from the field. The Warriors, 4 different players with 20-plus points. And, of course, Stephen Wardell Curry. I mean, if we've waited till 12 minutes into the show to talk about Steph, you know that the Warriors played a complete team game. And tonight, Steph, he did lead the starters with the +6, ±. He had 24 points. He was 7 of 7 from the free throw line, got there over and over again. Seems like he's getting there a lot more with Jimmy Butler in the mix. 5 of 11 from 3 and 6 of 14 from the field. Steph really didn't need to turn it on tonight, though. He was really deferring to everybody else around him. And you saw the results with 6 different Warriors in double figures, even though they only played 9 guys tonight. That is an amazing situation that the Warriors found themselves in tonight, where every single player on this team contributed big time to this win. Quentin Post was also in double figures for the night, for the Warriors tonight, with also 7 rebounds. A big man doing some work. He played some great defense down low, setting some screens, had 3 blocks tonight. I mean, Quentin Post every single game gets a little bit more entrenched in his role. And I do have a soft spot for TJD. I got to shout out my guy, TJD, who's completely fallen out of the rotation at this point. But, with where the Warriors are at right now, this is what you need. You need the stretch big. You need Quentin Post and his nastiness down low. I think he's a little bit more spunky than Trace Jackson Davis is. He's got a little bit more of that nastiness, which you love to see from the Dutch master down low. And just, I love seeing Quentin Post always throw up the 3 fingers whenever he hits a 3, and he gives the little kiss with the 3 fingers. That's just, it's perfect. I love his celebrations. They're so just enthusiastic, spontaneous. They're phenomenal celebrations. It's so fun to watch as a Warriors fan right now. This team is rolling. They are firing on all cylinders. And man, they're going to get some reinforcements back. Anthony Slater reported today that Brandon Pajemski and Jonathan Kuminga, while they missed tonight's game, could be back later this week. And so we're talking about strength in numbers right now, and you didn't even have arguably your 2 best players that would be coming off the bench unless Pods was in the starting lineup, or if Kuminga cracks that starting lineup when he comes back. I'm still really interested to see what they do. I think the expectation is Kuminga will be coming off the bench, especially trying to work his way back from that ankle injury. But I mean, what a great position the Warriors are in right now, where they can very, very, very much so slow play these returns of these injured guys, because they are just winning games, and you don't need to rush anybody back. When you've won 12 of your last 14, the Warriors are just on fire right now. in the midst of a 5-game win streak. They've won 10 of their last 11 also, with the one loss coming to Philadelphia when you didn't have Jimmy Butler. This team looks like a complete team with Jimmy, man. And by the way, Jimmy had a triple-double tonight, and it's so far down the list on good things the Warriors did tonight. He had 15 points, 10 boards, 10 assists. He also had 3 steals, 7 of 8 from the free throw line. And that's a huge game. And based on what everybody else on this team did, it's just kind of like just another thing that happened tonight. And wow, what a just absolute freaking luxury that is, man. This team has been so down this year at various points. And right now they are just riding just an absolute high of life. Like just all the positive particles of the universe just pouring into the Golden State Warriors, and they are capitalizing on every single thing that's coming their way. We got more to talk about on the other side, including our player of the game. So don't go anywhere on the Locked On Warriors postcast. Today's show is sponsored by DoorDash. NBA fans, get ready. They swoosh, you save. Thanks to DashPass, every time a player drops 50 or more points in a game, you score a huge deal the next day. It's simple. When any player scores 50 or more in a game during the 2024-2025 NBA regular season, DashPass members get 50% off an order, up to $10 off the next day from noon to midnight. And here are a few ways you can take advantage of this deal. You can get a game day feast, man. After an epic 50-point performance, celebrate by ordering pizza, wings, or burgers from your favorite local spot delivered right to your door. Share with the homies. Bring everyone over to watch Steph chase that 4,000 3-point milestone. Maybe like me right now, you got some late night cravings, man. I am starving right now, and you bet I'm going to be using my Dash Pass to go get some late night food right as soon as this show ends. Whether you're staying up late watching highlights or you just need a midnight snack, use Dash Pass to grab something delicious while saving big. Sign up for Dash Pass and be ready to save. When any player scores 50 or more in a game, Dash Pass members get 50% off an order the very next day, up to $10 off. Just use promo code NBA50 from noon to midnight after a 50-point game on eligible orders at participating merchants. Must have an active Dash Pass account. Terms apply. Visit DoorDash to learn more. Today's show is also sponsored by FanDuel. When the game tips off, the NBA action is just getting started, and there's no better place to get in on it than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. With FanDuel, you can place live bets throughout the game, so even if you miss the opening tip-off or want to bet on a fourth quarter comeback, you can stay in the action. And if you're looking for a bigger payout, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay. I love using FanDuel's live betting feature because it keeps every moment of the game exciting. Whether I'm backing my team for a late game rally or picking a clutch player to hit a clutch 3, I never feel like I missed my chance. Plus, the app is easy to use, and when you win, you get paid instantly. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Welcome back to the Locked On Warriors postcast. And tonight, man, let's just get right into it. You know what time it is. It's time for tonight's player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
And I'm looking at the chat, man, and my guy, DG, Little Glove, my guy, Orlando, GP2, 3 fire emojis. And I got to shout out my mom, Mama J, Janine, no, Batman. It's Gary Payton, man. GP2, tonight's player of the game in the Batman mask, dude. I like the look for GP2. I kind of hope he just like goes the Rip Hamilton way and just continues to wear the mask for the rest of his career. But you know, he probably won't. Let's be real. But it's very similar to that mask LeBron wore when he had that really epic scoring streak wearing the mask. So maybe it's something in the mask, man. Like maybe it's just like the Zorro effect or the Batman effect or whatever you want to call it. But tonight, man, GP2, a career high 26 points in the Batman mask. And as we said, he had that great first half. But really, GP2, he had 16 points at halftime. He added 10 points in the second half. We rarely see that from GP2, a strong second half. He's usually a guy who does most of his work for this team in the first half. Kerr goes in a different direction usually after halftime. I think to save GP2 for those clutch moments that you really need him down the stretch of the season in the postseason, Like, he's a guy who's had a lot of injuries in his career, but tonight, man, you couldn't take this guy out in the second half. He had all of the momentum going for him. And as we said earlier, the great halftime interview that he gave to Fitz, Fitz even commented on his nose because he took the mask off for the interview. And he said, hey, Fitz said, hey, your nose is looking great. And GP2 has said, thanks. And it's just like the vibe of a GP2, man. Like, he is so chill, so calm. He just seems like like, I would love to have him, like, just go get a beer with that guy. Like, he seems like that type of dude who would just be just fun to talk, talk shop with, talk basketball, talk basically anything with GP2. I bet he's a great music guy. I would love to hear what he's, bumping in his pregame set list kind of thing. Like, he's just an interesting dude. I love his energy. I love his attitude. He's just this positive force that is just infectious to the rest of the team. And man, oh man, GP2 tonight had the game of his career. He saw him try Klingon later in this game. He tried to just end his life with a monster dunk, and Klingon played the defense. So it ended up being out of bounds after the block, and the Warriors got the ball back in that situation. But GP2 was kind of laughing about it. Klingon was just shaking his head like, absolutely not, buddy. Get that out of here. But GP2 was, trying everybody on the Blazers tonight. You saw him throw down that monster alley-oop from Draymond with about 8:55 left, and just a big boy dunk on that one from the little man, from the little glove, as my guy DG called him. But, dude, I just love having this guy on this team. His story with the Warriors is unreal. Like, this is a guy who was undrafted, in and out of Warriors G League, time. Like, when he was down there with the G League, he bounced around a lot, and then eventually he takes a job in the Warriors video room just to stay around the team. I mean, this was a guy who was just willing to do anything, just anything at all to get back out there. And when he finally got back out there for the Warriors, you saw the impact he made. And you remember when he went away for that like brief time, he went to the Blazers and the Lakers, and the Warriors were like missing him so much. That connecting piece that he had. We call Brandon Pajemski the great connector, man. We should call GP2 the great connector, really, because this guy brings it all together. He makes it all work, just gives an instant energy lift off the bench. And man, he's been really good from 3-point land lately, and he has always, as he usually does, playing that phenomenal defense. You can switch him on to virtually anybody. You can play him against centers in this league, which is absolutely wild. The little big man, he's always around the rim, always making a smart play with the basketball. And you saw him tonight when he smoked a layup. The second that he got the ball back in his hands, when he went to dribble it up the court the other direction after the Blazers scored off of his missed shot, you saw him just banging his head with the basketball, because he knew he made the wrong play. He knew he missed an opportunity. He didn't make the wrong play, just didn't convert. I should correct myself. He made the right play, just didn't make the layup. But you saw him just banging his head with the basketball out of frustration. And this guy holds himself to a very, very, very high standard. Obviously, his dad, Gary Payton, was just a monster with the Sonics and that other team that he played for late in his career, which we won't mention. But overall, man, GP2 has some of that same nastiness without being like a mean guy, which is so funny because, Gary Payton Sr. was not very well known as like a good vibes guy. So it's pretty funny to see his son out there just doing kind of the same thing, making relatively the same type of impact. I'm not going to say GP2 is making the same caliber of impact, but the same kind of player. He's going to grind you defensively. He's going to just get inside all the time, get to the paint as much as he can, get into the teeth of the defense and score inside. That's just who those guys are in their blood. Gary Payton, the senior, much more of an a-hole, let's just be real, than GP2, the junior. But you love to see the energy that he has out there. And man, oh man, it was just so fun. And as my guy DG just put in the chat, the circus shot from GP2 that had Steph melting on the bench was sick. Oh yeah, man, that was so good. Like, that almost got lost in my brain of all the amazing plays that GP2 made tonight. Just a phenomenal effort from one of my personal favorite players on the Warriors. I feel like I got to go out and get a GP2 gamer, man. Like, I have a Steph, I have a Draymond, I have a Clay. Like, I feel like I have a Jay Rich. I feel like I got to add GP2 to the mix, man. Like, I don't have any of the role players. I get a lot of criticisms from some of my friends in college because I was always an Andres Biedrich guy, which, we all know how that panned out for him, but they all just, think that I'm secretly hoarding a Biedrich jersey in my closet. If I had a Biedrich jersey, you would see me wear it all the time. So I'm not secretly hoarding one, although I wish I did have one. Point being, I need a rotation player jersey. I need a GP2 jersey. I think got to add it to the collection. Man, oh man, tonight's game might put me over the that might push the decision over the edge. Might go get one right after this show, right after I DoorDash my late night snacks, of course, because I am absolutely starving right now, man. But I digress. Tonight, the Warriors push their 5-game winning streak to 5 games, ties a season high. They just tied their season high prior to losing to the 76ers. They were riding a 5-game win streak at that point too. Remember, to start the season, they had a 5-game win streak much earlier, during that 12-3 start that they had, when it just looked like they were going to be world beaters, and Buddy Hield might be in the MVP conversation at that point in time. And then obviously things took a turn afterwards. But the Warriors, I think they're going to have every chance in the world to extend this to 6 games, as they have a couple days off before playing the Kings on Thursday. And remember, no De'Aaron Fox. The Kings are officially relegated back to the little brother role, as they should be. And the Warriors should push this to a season-high 6-game win streak. And man, oh man, the Warriors' playoff push right now is legitimate. They're almost, if they win against the Kings, they'll be 10 games over 500. And one of the things to keep an eye on, earlier this year, the Warriors, the gravitational pull of 500 was just so strong, both at home and away, that they could not start to piece anything together at home. We look at the Warriors' record at home since getting Jimmy Butler. It's really good. And the Warriors are now sitting at 19-13 at home on the season. And one very strong similarity between every single good team in the NBA, and I'm talking, championship caliber good team, is they all win games at home. They dominate at their home turf. And that's what good teams do. That's what they should be doing. And the Warriors starting to turn that page into being a dominant home team. You heard Chase Center absolutely rocking tonight after GP2 threw that alley-oop down with 8:55 left in the fourth, pushed the Warriors lead up, I think to 13 or 14 at that point. Just ripped the roof off of Chase Center, man. Everybody went wild out there, and it was palpable through the television set. I could feel the particles coming at me all the way in the sunset from over in the Dog Patch, man, which is completely across the city, the complete other side of San Francisco. I could feel the Warriors particles just emanating all through the San Francisco streets tonight, man. The Warriors are on an absolute tear right now. I am so excited to watch where this team ends up this season. And just don't fly too close to the sun. Otherwise, you might end up sunburnt like Triple E, looking as red as this 49er flag behind me. But tonight, I mean, just so good from the Warriors. Just strength in numbers vibes. You get a triple-double from Jimmy Butler. Like I said before, any night where we're barely talking about Stephen Curry and the Warriors win a game like this, you know that this team's got something cooking. And I really do think that this Warriors team is a legitimate competitor. I believe Draymond Green 100% now. His flag plant declaration of the Warriors going to the championship, I'm all in, man. Count me on board. You know what? I'm going to go to my FanDuel account right after this, and I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm going to put some money on the Warriors to win the 2025 NBA championship. And tell me I'm crazy, man, but watch me cash this check at the end of this season. I'm all in on this team right now. I believe 100% in this team. And as we've talked about all night long, everybody on this team is contributing right now. So many players just in double figures tonight. As we said, 6 dubs in double figures, 4 Warriors in with 20 plus points, and they only played 9 guys tonight. Steph had 24, didn't need to lead the team in scoring. That was GP2. Buddy Hield, man. Buddy the barometer. Had 7 assists tonight, too, with 2 steals. Dude was playing really solid basketball, and I hope that Buddy Hield can continue to do what he's doing, and Jimmy Butler just makes everything so much easier for everybody else on this team, all the role players, every single person. By the way, the Warriors 11-0 now when Buddy Hield scores 19 or more points. And we even heard Kalena Azubuike drop a Buddy the barometer on the broadcast tonight. I'm sure he must be watching the Locked On Warriors postcast, man. He's just stealing my nicknames for these guys. It's only a matter of time before we hear Kalena talk about the Dutch master Quentin Post. So I digress. Tonight's final score 130-120, and the Warriors keep on rolling with that 5-game win streak. They'll put it to the test Thursday, taking on the Kings at Chase Center. And then things get a little wild, man. You got the Knicks, then you got the Bucks and the Nuggets on a back-to-back. Oof, the schedule is getting a little bit rough here in the next week or so for the Golden State Warriors. Stay tuned, man. This team is so fun. Don't go anywhere. Must see TV. Golden State Warriors just riding all the particles, all the positive vibes emanating from San Francisco right now. I am all in on this team. That's all the time we got for you guys tonight on the Locked On Warriors postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, a very sunburnt Eric Triple E Engel. I'm going to go DoorDash some snacks, get some aloe on this face, man, and we'll come to you live Thursday after Warriors Kings, and hopefully you'll join us. Thanks to all our everydayers, DG and Orlando tuning in tonight. I really appreciate all of you guys making us your first listen following these Warriors games, and make sure to check out the Locked On Warriors Daily Show for more information. That's all we got for you tonight. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Peace.